As we approach the 13 days of Halloween, which I've been uploading a bajillion videos for, seriously, I have horror videos that are just going to be coming out like crazy within the 2 weeks before Halloween. Really excited for that. But a topic that's been kind of coming more to my attention: Let's Players. Now, obviously, I have some input on that being a Let's Player. But there's recently been a few things that people have been directing me to, and things I've just personally been noticing. A few of my video series sometimes get popular for a while simply because some other popular Let's Player plays it, and then they don't continue it for a while, and then I have a Let's Play of it already available, so people just watch mine. The most recent example of that would be Hateful Boyfriend, which recently got a new surge of people watching it because apparently the Let's Player Cry was playing it. And I like to sometimes observe when certain videos get popular, the reason why. And it was pretty evident that I was like, oh yeah, that's getting popular because Cry played one episode, and I guess people were curious about Pigeon Dating Sim, which only makes sense. So then they found my Pigeon Dating Sim videos, and then they watched that and they liked it. So that's always nice and all. But the reason this video is being brought up is simply because I've been recently getting a lot more comments about other Let's Players on my own videos, and also because someone just tonight linked me to a video by Retro Surprise, which is a breakdown of adults' reaction to PewDiePie. And I just want to clarify, I don't watch many other Let's Players. The only other people I really watch are my friends. Occasionally there's a few I find by myself which I enjoy, and I'm like, oh, I like that guy's videos, I'll watch it. Like, there's PK Games and a few others I can name off. They're not exactly super popular, but I like what they do. And because of that, I don't feel I have the most valid opinion on individual Let's Players. I don't have any particular hate or love for any everyone else. If they can do well for themselves, that's their own business. However, the reason why I'm bringing this up, though, is because I was intrigued in reading the comments to the PewDiePie video. Again, I don't really watch him, so I don't have much of an opinion on him. And I did watch the video. It didn't really seem in my taste, but I didn't think it was that terrible either. But the point is, there was a lot of hate for PewDiePie right there, just like I know there's a lot of love for him, and that's just kind of what happens when someone's popular, and it's one of those things that I guess you just kind of have to deal with if you become popular, is this love-hate sort of mix, because the more popular you get, the more hateful you'll get, and the thing is, I saw the videos that they were pointing out. I'm pretty sure they were kind of pulling out at, the worst of the worst for their argument. Because, I mean, again, I don't watch his videos. All I noticed was that there was a lot of rape jokes. There's a lot of yelling. And I'm sure he does those things a lot. But I'm sure it's not what he always does. Maybe he does. I don't know again. But I can't hate him regardless. Even if I'm not a fan particularly of his videos. And there's a reason for that. When you do a Let's Play, you sort of put yourself out there. You kind of just get your own style, and I assume people do it because they like doing it. I mean, that's the reason why I started doing gameplay videos. I did them previously somewhere else, but I decided, you know what, I'll just make my own channel. This doesn't really fit the theme of the channel. I'll just do it. I enjoy playing video games. Sure, why not? Who doesn't? And, I mean, I just was really kind of doing it as a self-gratifying type thing, I'll admit, but it just so happened over time it formed some small audience, and the audience has been growing, and I mean, I hope you guys enjoy the videos. And because of that, I decided I'll just do what comes naturally to me and just do them. And I assume, at least I hope, that's why it's just how other Let's Players do it too. They just kind of do what they enjoy doing. That is kind of the ideal for people, is to do what they enjoy doing. And of course, there's the recent trend that's come up, which I'm a part of, so I can't really speak against it. No, but the trend that Let's Players can get paid, which brings back that whole, as I like to say it, there's like, when you're younger and you play video games, and then your parents are all like, oh, you're never going to make money off this, and it's kind of nice to be in that sort of position where you can, well, just fundamentally make money off playing video games. I mean, who doesn't, that seems like a win-win situation for a gamer, but I don't think money's the most important thing when you're being a Let's Player. Maybe this is my own sense of honor or something like this, because while it's always nice getting a paycheck a month for something like Let's Playing, it's not what I'd particularly like to make money for, if that makes any sense. While I do like the advantages to being a partner at times, I am more interested in going over creative endeavors. In other words, I'd rather make money off something like distributing something out to the public more than just playing video games, which technically Let's Plays are distributions to the public, but I don't really view them as such. They're more of a hobby of mine, I guess. And like when my channel started gaining a bit more popularity, it's not really popular at all. It's just kind of growing, I guess. And I'm fine with the audience size how it is and all that. But sometimes you think to yourself is like, well, are people really going to enjoy this? Because while it's always do good for yourself, I think it's kind of impossible to not think about what your audience wants, because of course when you start noticing that you're gaining attention, of course you're gonna hope that people who are watching your things enjoy what you're doing. And with something like Let's Playing, I don't know how other people do it. Again, this is just, I have my own setup. I just do things improv. There are moments where I can think of jokes and I'll go with them, but I don't particularly try to be a funny person. I think that part, at least this is what I think, I can't speak for what people view me as, I think that just naturally part of the reason why some people watch me is because of my very sort of down-to-earth views. Whenever I play games, I kind of have a mentality, not really a mentality, but just how I think about things. I just be myself as myself anywhere else. And because of that, I guess that some people enjoy this kind of relaxing tone of my videos, because while I know I can take a long time exploring things, and sometimes I sometimes think I might be a tad aggravating, especially when I get particularly annoyed at something, or even sometimes scared at something, but sometimes people find that funny, and I guess people seem to find my voice naturally sort of soothing. In some cases, other people find it completely annoying, so I'm trying to view both sides of the fence here. And other times, some people just think how I talk, how I do things is naturally sort of funny, which of course I'm happy for, because that means they're getting entertainment out of what I'm doing. But I also understand completely if someone would hate what I do. And I think that would be amplified if I ever became extremely popular, because then people would look at what I'm doing and be thinking, why the heck is this guy popular? All he does is blank and blank and blank. So why is this guy popular if he doesn't really do much for it? And I can kind of see that's the recent hate that was being put on to PewDiePie. Again, I'm saying that because I can't really hate him for doing what he's doing. And I mean, he's got, I don't know how many subscribers he has now, over 2 million. And for that, I can't really hate him for it, even if I'm not particularly a fan of his, because he found his own audience. Obviously, some people really enjoy his videos, and he's been becoming really popular for it, so he must be doing something right or another. And if people like it, they'll like it. And if you dislike it, you'll dislike it. That's just kind of my break on it. I think it's completely okay for people to hate it, and just like I think it's completely okay for people to love it. And the same applies to my own videos. I think it's completely okay for people to hate what I do. I think it's completely okay for them to like what I do. It's just everyone has different taste. And when you do a Let's Play, not everyone likes Let's Plays in the first place. And I'll even be earnest. I think Let's Plays are, in terms of creative integrity, somewhat lazy in some ways. I mainly do them for fun as a hobby, but I wouldn't exactly say, oh, I'm a creator because I do Let's Plays. But I mean, I do them because they're fun. That'd just be the basic reason for it. I enjoy playing video games, and I enjoy recording myself playing video games. You have to be somewhat conceited, I think, to be able to do that, though. Like, and I guess kind of a sense of confidence, considering your audience. And, I mean, there were some comments I was reading that people were saying that PewDiePie sticks, apparently, his faces on all his video thumbnails, so he must be conceited. And earnestly, I think that's kind of a quality you have to have a bit of if you're going to be a Let's Player, because it's you playing video games. How much more conceit can you get than that, right? But I think it's good to balance that with other traits as a person. So that also comes to the basic question, why do people enjoy watching Let's Plays? And there's multiple reasons for that. The first one would be if they are interested in seeing a game they themselves cannot play. Or maybe they want to play, but they might be too scared to, or they would never get a chance to play because it's so rare or expensive, or it's a game they have interest in but they don't think they would buy. That's the first one. The second one is if they enjoy the person that they're watching. It's not so much the game, well, it can be the game, but they have a bigger, more I guess, intense interest in the actual person who's making the videos. And that's the ideal sort of audience, I guess, is if they're watching you for you. I mean, I guess that's what most people, actors, performers, and all that would hope for. But you also have to understand why other people would be there. It might also just be for the performance, not specifically you. And again, that sort of ideal is somewhat conceited, but needed, I believe, to be a Let's Player. And the final thing that they might be watching for is just accidental discovery. They might just think it's funny or entertaining or interesting or anything really. And because of that, those I believe are the three main reasons that people get behind Let's Plays, is because either they want to watch the games that this person plays because they're games they themselves may never play or want to look at before they think about playing it because they want to get a good idea about the game. Then there's people who will watch it because of the person behind it. They like the person who's making the videos and they want to see more by the person who's making the videos. And then the third one is just accidental discovery. You know what, I enjoy this, I'll watch it. Just kind of like one of those spur of the moment things, and then they just decide to check out a few videos, they might enjoy them, and it's kind of a mixture between the two previous things, but I believe it's important enough to include as another subcategory. But I will admit, this is going to be one of those confession things where I'm like, boy, I do get somewhat of a thing when people make comments about other Let's Players on specific videos of mine, maybe because I don't play them. A part of it is admitted jealousy, because obviously they're more popular than I am, so But then there's comments that'll sometimes come along, it's like, lol, I guess this Let's Player should play this game, even though here's a video of me playing this game, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, it's nice that I guess you like this other person well enough that you would like to see them play a game which I'm played or am playing, but why would you bring that up on one of my videos, which has nothing to do with this other Let's Player? It's not like it's going to greatly impact that person's viewpoints about what they will play or not play. I mean, I don't think that, I don't know, just some random Let's Player is a huge fan of my works and just sees this comment on this video and thinks to himself, you know what, I'm going to listen to this fan on this one guy's video and I'm so going to play that. I mean, if you want to submit ideas of what you think they should Let's Play, just send it to the actual Let's Player. I'm not sure. They probably get a ton of PMs. I mean, I occasionally get a lot of them. And I have a bad habit of not replying to them. I usually, I'll look at them, but I'll be busy doing something and I'll forget about them. That's a mistake on my own part. But it's something which I think might help cause this hate and popularity, is when these people get brought up by their fans in places where it might annoy others. I'm not particularly very annoyed by it. It's just occasionally I'll be like, okay, I guess you're going to leave a comment about that on my channel. I'm not going to delete it, obviously. I don't delete comments unless, of course, they're particularly really, not towards me, just hateful comments in general. Like something that is supremely racist or sexist or something. Those are about the only comments I ever delete, but... or something that spoils something. Like recently I've been having to delete some comments on my Resident Evil 6 music videos or cutscene videos because people have been posting spoilers. Like, why would you post Chris's ending spoilers without any warning whatsoever in the opening cutscene for Chris Redfield's campaign? Why would you do that? There's no good reason to. It's just there because you want to spoil the fuck out of someone because you're a fucking troll, and why would you do that for someone? That just ruins the experience for them. And so I delete comments like those because there's no good reason to have that discussion of the ending of Chris's campaign and his fucking opening. That doesn't make sense to me. But those type of comments will probably help promote the hate, as I'm going to call it now, because I'm sure there's other people who have been in similar positions as I who just get those comments, and I will assume that those people are more aggravated by those comments than I am. I mean, I have a slight aggravation, but not really anything. It's no big deal. I mean, it's just what they're thinking. The person who's commenting was thinking, you know what, I like this person, and I would like to see this person play this video game this other guy is playing. And that makes sense to me. I can understand that from a basic level. It's kind of like saying to yourself, oh, I like this actor. And it'd be very interesting to see this actor work on this one thing, which I think he or she would be really good in. And here I am comparing Let's Players to actors, but regardless, I think that Let's Playing in some weird sense has become something like following popular actors. I don't know how to word this exactly. I think that some Let's Players have reached a status where they're popular amongst a large enough audience where people almost kind of treat them like stars, and it's kind of a weird way. For me that seems mind-boggling, because I'm thinking is like, wow, someone could become like that simply by playing video games. To be honest, I think there's good and bad that comes with that, because I mean, I'll be honest, I would not want to be in that sort of position. Even if I got millions of subscribers, I just would do what I'm doing still now. There's not any big difference that would happen. Maybe I might put a bit more effort into my videos, I don't know, but besides that, there's not really... It's just kind of weird to think that we live in a day and age where someone who just plays video games for fun could reach that kind of popularity status, and fascinating. It is incredibly fascinating. So I guess something which I'm trying to say now is that Let's Players, or Let's Playing in general, has reached kind of a weird state. I'm not sure if it's going to keep on going up like this. I'm not sure if Let's Playing in general is going to die out or something. And maybe this has to do with the fact that video games have become much more popular ever since the mid-2000s, have been on a continuous rise of popularity as younger and younger audiences are exposed to video games at younger and younger ages, and they're becoming more of a part of culture, because video games are, in general, are at this weird stage where there is almost no entry barrier level. There was something that Valve said very recently that was very wise. Video games, unlike movies, unlike books, have no entry barrier at all right now. That might change in the future, but we're at a point in time where video games, all you need to do is make a video game and you can put it out there for people to play. There's not like movies where putting an indie movie out there is incredibly hard to get like audience attention. It's not like books where there's all these publication things you have to think about and all that. We're just at a point where if you make a video game, you can release it. And as long as you have the means to get people to notice it, you can do fine. There's some, of course, very popular occurrences of video games that started off with nothing going really big. Probably the biggest of which would be things like Cave Story, Minecraft, etc. And, I mean, even Valve themselves, one of the biggest companies these days, started off with nothing, really. They just decided they wanted to make a video game company, made Half-Life, and continued to make fantastic games. And here they are, some super huge industry company that everyone loves. Almost everyone. But the same kind of goes for Let's Players right now. I mean, I guess games are reaching a point of popularity where people who play video games for others to enjoy are almost somewhat becoming like mini internet stars or something like that. So I think that has to do partly with the current state of the industry, and partly because video games have grown a lot as a medium, which I think is absolutely fascinating, but at the exact same time, there's pros and cons to this. And one of them is that, I mean, again, I can't speak for every individual Let's Player out there, but I'm guessing that lots of these Let's Players, when they started out, didn't really expect to become popular, and as such, some of them are probably just continuing what they're doing. I know that's what I would be doing. Some of them might become star-bound and try to work off what really works for them to become even more popular, and there's probably all sorts of different attitudes towards the whole thing. It's just the idea that Let's Players could be at a point where they're so popular that they suddenly are, they can be household or names. It's kind of a mind-boggling fact, I think, and one which is going to be curious to be watching in the future how it progresses. I just was inspired by this video, of course, by all the things I mentioned, and as just a current look at, that's all I really had to say. The current state of Let's Playing is very interesting, especially considering that it's really a hobby that doesn't require much. You just have a video camera of some kind. Okay, probably not video camera. It'd be best to have one of those things that can directly record a video game, because quality whores. But I'm a quality whore, so I can't speak against them. But I will say that that besides that, all you really need then is the video games, the means to record it, and then I guess just yourself. And it just comes down completely down to if people enjoy what you do or not. And there's a lot of video games out there to pull from, and then there's your personality and all that. I guess it's just one of those things. Like, to be honest, I don't know why people as much enjoy what I do. I've received all sorts of comments over time. Speaking of which, we are now at my 2-year anniversary, so yippee! I got something planned for that, but that won't be coming until next month, fortunately, because there's stuff I have to do this month. And I didn't really start using this channel until November anyway, so even though if I founded this channel in October, it wasn't until November I started really using it. So I guess that might as well be my 2-year anniversary then. It's been really interesting to see the progress and support people have been giving me, as well as the people who hate me. I think that's just as interesting to see why people like and dislike what you do. even if all you do is play video games all day. Ha 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 ha. Still, regardless, I'm curious to hear what you guys think about Let's Playing in general. Let's Players, again, I probably won't recognize anyone you name by name. There's a few I can pull out, which is like, I've heard about that person, but I probably haven't watched their videos. But I'm interested. Like, who are some of your favorite Let's Players? What do you like about them? What do you dislike about some Let's Players? Like, what are some Let's Players that just really don't appeal to you? What do you like? What do you dislike? How do you even discover these guys? Or even me right now, because obviously you're watching this video and you apparently watched it for almost 20 minutes to see what I have to say about Let's Playing. So why listen to me say what I think about Let's Playing for 20 minutes, huh? The point is, this is a very curious yet interesting topic and part of New Age medium exposure, so what's your thoughts? With that, I'm back off to play some more horror games. It's currently it's almost midnight, and I actually slept all day. I feel fucking terrible for it, so I'm just going to go out and play some horror games. What else am I going to do? And with that, I'm excited, actually, though, because I feel really awake right now. I've been really tired the last few days because I think I caught a sickness. Now I'm just blabbing, so I'll leave it off at that. On to you all.